A second characteristic which helps us identify this beast from the earth is that in Revelation 13, beginning with verse 11, there is no reference to waters. There is no reference to winds of strife. In fact, this beast that rises from the earth doesn't even fight with any other beasts. In other words, it does not arise in the midst of strife. Winds of strife represent wars. It doesn't have to conquer any previous nation. It actually arises in a different place. It can't be in Asia and it can't be in Europe. You say, why not? Because if you read Daniel chapter 7, you'll notice that the lion and the bear, which are Asian powers, by the way, rose from the sea. Also, the leopard and the dragon beast, which are European powers, rose from the sea as well. But this beast rises from the earth, which means that it must rise in a different place. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Now, something very important is that prophecy is actually moving from east to west, because the first two beasts are Asian powers, the lion and the bear. The next two beasts are European powers, which is Greece and Rome. And by the way, always moving further what? Further west. So where would you expect this beast from the earth to arise? Probably further west than Europe. And let me ask you, what is it that is west from Europe? The North America, the United States of America. In fact, it's interesting that there are no waters. It rises from the earth. Waters represent multitudes, nations, tongues, and peoples. Let me ask you, when the pilgrims came to the United States, were there lots of people living in this country? Was it like the old country, Europe? Absolutely not. There were very few living here. I'm going to give you some statistics a little bit later on. In fact, let me read you a couple of statements. One of them is by Daniel J. Burstein, who for many years was the Librarian of Congress. He says this about North America. The vacancy of North America was to prove to be its peculiar promise to the world. That is of the United States. Emptiness was America's special fertility. And another author said this, G.A. Townsend, about the territory where this country arose. The history of the United States was separated by a beneficent providence from the wild and cruel history of the rest of the continent. And like a silent seed, we grew into an empire. So the United States arose in silence. No winds, no wars, no fighting other nations. It arose in the earth where there was a scarcity of people. It arose around the year 1798, and this author says that it arose like a plant. Do you know that word that's used, I saw another beast rise from the earth, that word rise is used in the New Testament to describe a plant that grows from the earth. It's interesting that this historian says, in the last quotation I read, like a silent seed, we grew into an empire.